The amazing countries of Japan and China are nations that have made great contributions to our world that have shifted the course of history. Although similar in many ways, there are striking differences in the way these countries function and how they impact the world now. So let's examine the similarities and differences between Japan and China, and you decide which country is better. Thank you guys for coming back to another episode of FTD Facts. I'm Leroy Kenton, and you guys are really liking these which is better videos. Now, if you have any suggestions for any countries, places, or even people that we should match up in a future video, leave those comments down below. And first of all, before we get into this video, give this video a thumbs up if you like these videos, and also let me know which country do you think is better, Japan or China. So let's begin this video with the population of Japan, which is a population of 127,377,330 people at the time of filming this video, and the population density is 350 people per square kilometer. When we look at the population of China, that number just skyrockets way up to 1,411,493,315 at time of filming, and the population density is at 150 people per square kilometer. Moving on to the land size, when we look at the land size of Japan, that's at 377,972 square kilometers, and China is at 9,596,961 square kilometers. Now, when we examine the GDP based on the 2017 estimates, Japan's total GDP is 5.420 trillion. And the GDP per capita sits at $42,860. China's GDP, on the other hand, is $23,122 trillion, and the GDP per capita in China sits at $16,624. But while we're on the topic of money, let's talk about the currency. In Japan, they use the yen, and in China, they use their renminbi. Now, the yuan is the basic unit of their renminbi, but it's also used to refer to the Chinese currency generally, so sometimes you may hear the Chinese yuan. Now, when we look at the percentage in terms of religion in these countries, Japan's highest percentage in terms of religion is Shinto, and that's at 51.82%. Buddhism sits at 34.9%, and Shinto sects sit at 4%, Christianity is at 2.3%, and 7% give no answer. When it comes to the Chinese religions, the Chinese folk religion sits at 73.56%, Buddhism is at 15.87%, and other religions and organizations, including different sects and Taoists, also sit at 7%, Christianity is at 2.53%, and Islam sits at 0.45%. Japan is ranked number 1 in the world for life expectancy with a total average of 83.7 years. Males live 80.5 years on average, while females live 86.8 years. The total life expectancy in China is at 76.1 years. Females are at 78.1 years on average, and males are at 74.1 years. So something's going on in Japan that has people live so long. I don't know, could be binge watching all that anime. What? Anime is good for the soul, just saying. But with all jokes aside now, let's take a look at the military. On the military power scale, China is one of the most powerful countries. They rank at 3rd place in the entire world. The available manpower of China sits at 750 million, with a total military personnel at 3,712,500 people. China has 2,955 total aircrafts in their military. They have 6,457 combat tanks, 1,770 rocket projectors, 69 submarines in their navy, as well as 51 frigates, 35 destroyers, and 35 corvettes, but just only 1 aircraft carrier. Now, the labor force is massive at 805,900,000 people. And all of this is funded by a defense budget of $161.7 billion. Now, when we look at Japan's military, it's ranked number 7 in the global military power scale, so still among the top 10 in terms of military power. Japan has an available manpower of 54 million people with 311,875 total military personnel. The total aircraft strength sits at 1,594, and they have 700 combat tanks in their military and 2,850 armored vehicles, as well as 99 rocket projectors. Now, I briefly mentioned anime just earlier in this video, but let's get into the film and entertainment industries here. So Japanese comics, now known as manga, developed in the 20th century and had become very popular around the world. Japanese animation, of course, is called anime, and Japanese-made video game consoles have been very popular since the 1980s, like obviously Nintendo and everybody involved in Nintendo, Mario, Zelda, Link, Donkey Kong, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And don't get me started with video games, that's a whole nother video in itself. Japan is also the #1 importer of Korean music, K-pop, and television, K-dramas, and films, but this was only made possible after the South Korean government lifted a 30-year ban on cultural exchange with Japan that had been placed since 1948. Now, Japan has one of the oldest films and largest film industries in the entire world. As of 2010, it was the 4th largest by the number of feature films produced. Moving on over into China now, cinema was introduced in China in 1896, and the first Chinese film was also introduced then as well. China is home to the largest movie and drama production complex and film studios in the entire world, which is the Oriental Movie Metropolis and Hengdian World Studios. And in 2010, it had the 3rd largest film industry by number of feature films produced annually. In 2016, the total box office earnings in China was $6.58 billion US. So China is also leaving a large impact in the world when it comes to film as well. We know that these countries make a lot of money every single year, but what sort of debt are they handling? So Japan's total debt is at $9.5 trillion US. The interest per year on that debt is $123.2 billion US. Now, when we look at Japan's total debt and divide it by the total population, the total debt per person is $74,581 US. The total debt in Japan is equivalent to 2.7 trips to the moon. Now, this is if you took a stack of $1 bills and piled them up, they would make a stack of 1,384,488 kilometers, which is 645,286 miles high. Also, you can wrap those $1 bills around the Earth 37.016 times. Now, China's debt is half the amount of Japan's debt at $4.6 trillion. The interest on that debt is $153.6 billion per year, which is $4,873 worth of interest per second. Also, looking at the population of China at 1.4 billion people, if you divide the total debt by the actual population number, the total debt per person is a little over $3,000 US. So again, if you stack $1 bills on top of each other, they would make a pile of 506,515 kilometers, which is 314,734 miles high. This works out to be 1.32 trips to the moon, and you could wrap $1 bills around the Earth 18,054 times with that amount of debt. Now, before I close out this video, just gotta let you know that this episode of FTD Facts was brought to you by Grammarly.com. Grammarly is a world-leading software in terms of improving your written English skills. There's hundreds of spelling and grammatical errors all loaded within Grammarly, so as you're typing, it will correct your spelling and English for you. The link is down below where you can install Grammarly for free. I highly recommend it because we use it here at FTD Facts, and although I'm a native English speaker and everybody on our team is, we still make mistakes. So if you want to improve your written English, I highly recommend Grammarly.com. The link is down below where you can install the software for free. And if you actually really love what you're experiencing with Grammarly, you can purchase the upgrade for even more features. In closing, Japan and China are both leading Asian countries that have unique societies and fascinating history. The Japanese contributed to a number of fields. They play a crucial role in the digital revolution since the 20th century, with many revolutionary technologies in electronics and robotics all around the world. Japanese pop culture has also massively influenced the globe. Inventions from ancient China that are celebrated in Chinese culture for their historical significance and as symbols of ancient China's advanced science and technology. And I'll list some of these inventions. They include the compass, gunpowder, paper making, printing, and these discoveries, as you can see, just to name a few, had a large impact on cultures throughout our entire world. So again, let me know down below in the comment section, which country do you think is better, Japan or China? Hey guys, and before you go, if you want to watch more of these which is better videos, you can check out our playlist to see other countries that we have matched up. But if you also want to see more videos about the different countries and places that we've featured on FTD Facts covered in more depth, you can check out these videos as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in another video.